All right, in this video, I will show you how I booked nearly 1.5K appointments just in the last year, just through LinkedIn. Here you can see the report. So from April 2025 to April 2026, I booked nearly 1.5K appointments and most of them also got confirmed. And the problem is that most people believe that the quality of the outreach strategy, so the outreach strategy they do, the scripts they use, are directly connected with the amount of appointments they book. It's true, but the problem is there is much more that needs to be perfected in order to make it work and in order to book so many appointments. So people often think if I follow the same outreach strategy, I will get the same number of booked calls. And that's not true, right? So I've taught the same strategy to many people and the results were completely different. Nobody of them booked anywhere near 1.5K appointments. The reason is that the outreach strategy, so the scripts, the call to actions, and the messages you send are only 60 to 65% of the way. The rest, so the 35 to 40%, are invisible signals which also directly influence the amount of appointments you book. So, for example, your profile setup, your targeting, how you target those people, and the content you create. So, in order to be actually successful on LinkedIn, you need to take care of all of these things. So, the right profile setup, the section setup, maybe even using LinkedIn Premium, the content framework, using signal-based outreach plus having the right scripts, doing awareness commenting, using sales navigator filters in the right way, using recommended lead list, knowing how to find people from other platforms on LinkedIn, using voice messages and videos in the right way, using the LinkedIn Loom strategy, using emails, using cross follow-ups, getting LinkedIn testimonials, and so on. So all of these things need to be configured and perfected in order to make it work. And most people only focus on the outreach strategies. And as you can see, the outreach strategies, so the scripts and the messages, are just a really, really small amount of the full picture. So in this video, I will lay all the cards on the table. I will show you the complete LinkedIn guide, everything you need to set up to make your whole outreach strategy work. Let's dive into it. All right, I just opened LinkedIn, and the first thing we have to take care of is setting up your profile in the right way, because this is one of the biggest leverage points and it will directly influence the amount of appointments you book. So you have to see the LinkedIn profile as your landing page. It shouldn't be just a profile, but it should be configured and set up and structured the same way as a landing page is. Right? So we need to sell somebody on our idea and on our product before they even get our outreach message. So for the profile, the first important thing is to add a profile picture, which is professional and where they can see you clearly. Right? On LinkedIn, you shouldn't go for these edited Instagram model pics, but here you should just have a simple and effective profile picture where they can see you clearly. The next thing, which is in my opinion one of the most important ones, is the head banner. And most people don't even have a head banner, but if they have one, most of them don't use it in the right way. Right? So here we need to make sure that we interrupt their pattern thinking. We tell them exactly what we do, because this is the first thing they see when opening your profile. And we also need to look completely different than other people do. So the structure that I recommend and use myself is that you put the name of your agency or the name of your system or whatever you sell in the top left corner. In the middle, you put one sentence of your value proposition. On the right side, you either put something about the niche, some social proof, or a joke, which basically just rounds up the head banner. In this case, I have some social proof here, so with how many agencies we worked in last year. The next thing, which is really important, is that you display your full name here. So many people just go for their first name and then the first letter of the last name. It doesn't make sense. Just put your full name here because it will help you with SEO as well. Then it's super crucial to get verified. So this is something that you can do for free. If you are not verified just yet, it will show you the option to verify just here. So you have to upload your passport, your driver license, or any other legal documents in order to get verified. And this is a super, super important and crucial step. This will not only help you with getting replies because you look more trustworthy, but it will also help you to avoid bans and restrictions, because if LinkedIn knows that you're verified, you can send more messages without getting weekly limits or without getting banned. The next thing is the bio, which is in my opinion the second most important thing after the head banner. And here I would put a value proposition which clearly states what you do for which niche, through which mechanism, and which results you will get for them. In my case, we help agency owners make a certain amount of money using our own mechanism and system approach. I see a lot of people who just put something like CEO at agency here, which doesn't make sense, right? Because it doesn't tell your client anything about what you do. So in the bio, it makes a lot of sense to put these pipes in between the different statements you have here. And there should be the value proposition, then a pipe, and then basically some social proof, another joke, or something that just resonates with the niche. Then make sure that you put your actual country here and your actual location. If you are based in a third world country, because we work with a couple of people from third world countries in our mentorship, then make sure to change your location to the country that you do outreach in, because this will also influence your response rates a lot. And if you do outreach, for example, from India into the United States, then you will get much less replies than if you just change your location to the United States. Then another small and super important thing is to configure your contact info button. Because a lot of people don't put anything there, but if you click on it, you can basically put your website and also your email address there so that people can find your mail address to contact you regarding your services and reach out to you from their side. So these are the most important things you need to set up for your basic profile. And as you can see, LinkedIn works with sections. You see that the basic profile, so this header right here is one section. So you see it ends right here. And then there are a couple of more sections. And this is the only thing which will be static for everyone, but the rest of the sections you can basically edit. All right, so in my case, I have like about you section here, a service section, featured, activity, and so on. And if you click on add section, you can basically remove and add sections to it. All right, so these are the core ones that I recommend you to add. And then you can also add other sections. For example, licenses and certification sections and so on. For most people, I would just stick to the core sections. But if you, for example, have certain certificates you want to showcase on LinkedIn, then make sure to add this one. And if you are a freelancer, then you can also add like the project section so you can display your portfolio right there. Other than that, let me now show you how to set up the rest of the sections in the right way. So first of all, the About You section. Here I would make sure to tell a story. It shouldn't be too long. So this is, in my opinion, the maximum you should go for. But it should tell a story and it should be formatted in a way that it's really, really simple to read. So as you can see, I have simple and short lines here and spaces in between. So here I recommend you to start with who you are, then go back 2 to 3 years into what happened before you started your company and before you came up with the idea to help people in a certain way. And then basically connect everything to your current state so people truly understand who you are, where you come from, and why you started the company and how everything fits together. So this is basically the section where you can build a lot of social proof and a lot of trust through the experience and the past you have. At the end, I would make a call to action and put your landing page or calendar booking page right here. The next section we have is called services, and this only makes sense if you actually provide services like consulting or agency services. If you click on show all, you can basically edit this page right here. And if you click on edit page, you can basically edit the different services you provide. So here I would make sure to add a lot of services which you actually provide, because this will indirectly also influence your SEO. So how fast and easy people can find you through searching for different services on LinkedIn. And you can then also set up, if you work remote, if you work in person, you can set up the pricing right here. So if they should contact you for pricing, or if you display the pricing publicly, it does make sense. If you, for example, provide branding services, then you can, for example, display the prices on the LinkedIn profile so they can actually like buy the package and see everything directly from LinkedIn. And here it's just important to add a lot of different services. The next section we have is called featured. And as I said, it's not necessary to have it, but it makes a lot of sense, especially when you have a calendar or a landing page where you want to funnel people to. The next one we have, which is super important and crucial as well, is the experience tab. And here you do not only want to create your business as a company page and link it here, but you also want to write something about your company, what it does. You want to create these skills again, and also connect your landing page. So the first thing you do before you can edit right here, you click on the For Business button right here. You click on Create Company Page. Then you create your business as a company page. And after you created it, you can then click on the plus right here, search for it, and then it will come up with the right company page. So make sure to also add a logo to your company page. We will dive into the company page setup in just a second. But here in the Experience tab on your profile, it's crucial to first of all, add founder or CEO to this role and job, then select when you started and if you're still doing it, and then add one line about what you do, right? And here you have another big opportunity to showcase your services and what you do. So here I would just, again, tell them who's the kind of avatar you work with, what you do for them, and which results can they expect. Then you also want to link your landing page. Plus, you want to add some skills here. So the main skills that you learned and the main skills you have from this company. And here again, you can also build some social proof, give yourself an SEO advantage. So make sure to add all of these things to all of your companies. The next section we have is called skills. And here you can basically showcase the skills you have. Again, this will help you a lot with SEO. So make sure to add a lot of stuff here. You can just search for them, just add a lot of stuff around like marketing, and not only go for one keyword per skill, but go for like multiple keywords per skill, right? For example, social media marketing, performance marketing, online marketing, and so on. The last section we have is called the languages. It's not necessary, but it makes a lot of sense if you are from a not English-speaking country and you work with English-speaking countries. Then it makes a lot of sense to add your own language, the language you work in, and also another language you speak to this section so people can see that you speak the language at times today. These are the basic things you need to set up for your profile. And if you follow these steps, you are already 50% ahead of most people, right? Another super important thing is to make sure that people can actually find your profile. And this is something that most people are not even aware of. So if you click on settings and privacy, visibility, edit your public profile right here, then you have to make sure that this one is toggled on, right? If this is toggled off, then people cannot find you. So make sure that this is on basic, this is on public, and all of these things are turned on, right? Otherwise, people won't be able to find you and it will just be a disadvantage for you. Another super important thing is to customize your URL. So if you just set up the profile, you will have a random URL. So linkedin.com/ and then random numbers and words. I would make sure to customize it and just put your first minus last name here. If you have any specific keywords that you want to rank for example, online marketing or fitness coaching, then you can also play around with this and call it, for example, Jonas minus fitness minus coaching. Lastly, you can also click on the Open To button to showcase that you are currently hiring, that you're currently looking for a new job, or that you are looking for opportunities. And this will basically help you to position yourself in a way that people who actively look for somebody who can help them with a certain problem can see that you are offering certain solutions, right? So if you set it up, it will just add a small line to your banner where it says that you're open to work. Now let's talk about the thing I already mentioned before, so the company page setup. So if you click on For Business, create a company page, you can set up your company page with all the infos and then link it below in your profile. And for your company pages, you should set up the following things. You should add the logo as the profile picture. You should add a head banner, which clearly states what you do. In my case, it's just really minimalistic. And in the bio, again, you should add your VPH, so telling them exactly which other companies you work with and which results they can aim for. If you have employees, it makes sense to also connect them in the People's tab right here, so that people who have your employees on LinkedIn can also find your company. So this is basically everything in terms of profile setup. Another thing which is not really necessary but will also help you a lot is the feature called LinkedIn Premium. It's a paid version of LinkedIn, which will basically give you a lot of more insights and also tools. It will add this golden icon to your profile. And I've tested it. Usually more people accept and also reply to your messages. If you are like a LinkedIn Premium member, people just see you more as an authority. So it will indirectly help you with your replies, but it's not really necessary. But if you decide to buy it, then I recommend you to also set up a custom button like this one. All right, so if you have LinkedIn Premium, you can set up custom buttons, which will basically be displayed under your name, but also in your profile when you comment under people's post. So if you comment under people's post, what we will dive into in just a second as well, then it will also show this custom button directly in the comment so people can book an appointment even in the comment sections. Right, so here make sure to set up the right call to action and then link your landing page to it so that this button also works properly. All right, so now after we set up your profile, it's time to talk about the content strategy, because content plays a big role on LinkedIn. It's one of the easiest platforms to go viral on. And even if you don't plan to fully focus on content, you should at least post now and then in order to amplify your outreach, build social proof, and also get some inbound leads. On LinkedIn, it makes a lot of sense to post Reels. You can also go for some text-based content, but I would just fully focus on Reels and use 1 day a month to create between like 15 and 30 Reels. So you have enough content to post for 1 or 2 months. And this is the content framework I have been using. So step number 1 is to find the topic. So get inspiration from best performing videos from people inside your niche and write down the topic in one sentence. For example, how to get leads as a real estate agent. Step number 2, find the matching format. Decide between talk to camera or share your screen video. Either you talk directly into the camera or you share your screen like I do right now and walk them through a document. If you decide to go for the talk to camera video, then decide between a raw, edited, or captions or visual elements style video. For LinkedIn, it makes a lot of sense to play around with captions and visual elements. If it's a share your screen video, then decide between a Keynote, Google Doc, My Report, and so on. And you have to be careful with not going too much into depth because remember, the reels and videos you post shouldn't be longer than 30 to 60 seconds. Therefore, the Keynote or like the Google Doc shouldn't be too full and too long. Then you create a script. So if it's a talk to the camera video, you just write your script or you write down the bullet points that you want to talk about. If it's a share your screen video, just create the resource, so the document which you want to walk them through. Then you create a call to action. So at the end of every reel, there should be a call to action. On LinkedIn, it makes a lot of sense to set the call to action on liking or commenting on your post, because then you can reach out to those people afterwards and convert them into calls booked. I will also show you how you can reach to people who engage with your content in just a second. Then you create a hook, right? So for YouTube, the hook should be longer. For LinkedIn, the hook should be between like 1 and 3 seconds, and it must interrupt their pattern thinking. Then you create a title. So for LinkedIn, you don't really need a title, but you still need a punchline, which is attached below the video, which they see without opening the description and the caption. And finally, you just create a thumbnail. If you go for YouTube videos, for LinkedIn, you don't really need it. You can just pause the video at a moment where you look good and it's basically showing something on the screen which makes people stop. Now you know how to create content on LinkedIn. Let's now talk about how you can use the inbound leads you get in order to reach out to them effectively. Because to be honest, you don't even need many leads or people on your post in order to book a lot of appointments. You see, I don't even get many likes or so, but you can now click on the likes and the comments you get. This was a post where I don't even ask for people to like it or like comment it. But now you can go through all of the likes you get, go through their profiles, figure out which of them fit your target audience, and then just DM them with the following script. You want to say something like, hey name, I saw that you interacted with X content piece. Is topic currently a problem for you? So we want to make them aware of that they interacted with us to build some authority. And then we just want to ask them if the topics, for example, lead generation or whatever you offer, is currently a problem for them and a topic for them, and just try to build up a conversation. And this is super, super powerful. It's called signal-based outreach. So you just post content to get signals from random people inside your niche so that they either comment, like, or share your posts. And then you just go through the leads, so through the reactions and through the comments once a day or once a week. And you just message all the people with the script I gave you a second ago. And this can book you a lot of appointments without having a lot of views. But of course, just posting content and waiting for inbound leads is not enough. We also want to reach out to people actively in order to book appointments, because this is still the main strategy you should use for booking appointments. But as I said, we just have to take care of the other things as well in order to make your outreach strategy work. So now let's talk about how you can find people effectively on LinkedIn or Sales Navigator in order to reach out to them. So Sales Navigator is basically the paid database tool of LinkedIn in which you are able to find a lot of people with really advanced filters. If you don't have Sales Navigator, because you don't need it technically, you can just go to the normal search bar of LinkedIn. You can type in the position of the person you want to target, for example, CEO, founder, co-founder, and then the niche, for example, real estate. If you then hit enter, LinkedIn will only show you CEOs at real estate companies. So you will be able to find a lot of people, but Sales Navigator is the better option for you. So on Sales Navigator, we basically want to go to the search bar and we want to type in the keyword for the niche. Let's say real estate. And then you see there are way too many results. You see there are like 7 million plus results. This is way too much. Even if it looks good, you won't find good people here. So what you want to do is you want to expand this window right here, and then you want to filter down with a couple of advanced filters. The first filter you want to use is company headcount. Here you want to choose whatever makes sense for your target audience, but in most cases it should be these two. Then you go to current job title, and here you want to filter down just for the CEO because this is the only decision maker there is, right? And you want to filter down for CEO, co-founder, founder, maybe manager, owner, and any other keywords there are for the owner or like CEO you're targeting. Then you can also filter down for years in current company. So if you want to work with beginner agencies, for example, then I would recommend you to go for years of experience and then people with less than 1 or 2 years. If you want to work with bigger companies, then make sure to set these to at least 1 to 2 years, because otherwise CEOs may not be able to take certain decisions in terms of investing money if there are only for like 2 or 3 months in the company. Then you want to go for different countries. So you want to do like you can save your searches and you can save your filter settings right here. And you want to save the filters you set up for each country, right? So you want to go for, let's say, like North America, then you want to save it. Then you want to go for Europe, then you want to save it again. So you basically have all of these filters applied for each country, and you can then go country by country. If you only go for one country, then you can also filter down for the city. So for example, Berlin, Munich, and so on. Then you can also add the profile language into it. In 90% of the cases, it's not really necessary, but you see currently we have 210K results. If we now add, for example, English to it, you see now we only have 190K results. So 20K of these people potentially don't speak English. So yeah, it makes sense to add this filter. So you only reach out to people who actually understand you, right? A small last thing you can add is this one, which basically means that they posted on LinkedIn before. This will help you a lot in finding active people, but there are a lot of people who don't post in LinkedIn but are still active. So this will limit you a lot when it comes down to finding people, but it can also help you to only find super active people on LinkedIn. But now you can basically save the search, you can give it a name, and then you can open your saved searches right here, so you don't have to apply all these filters every time again. But now you see you will find a lot of people in every niche, at least more than 100K. And now you can go through it and you can click on the three dots, connect, and then basically connect to them. You can also click on the name to see their profile directly in Sales Navigator. And you can also save them. So you can create different lead lists. If you don't want to connect immediately to them, you can save them on a lead list and then basically reach out to them later. Let's say you go for a super random niche where you are not able to find a lot of people in, then I recommend you to also play around with different keywords. So now we just use the keyword real estate. Another good keyword would be, for example, real estate, agency. You see now we find, 8K results. Most of them won't be the results you saw before. Right, so make sure to also play around with different keywords right here, save the searches, so you have different keywords, different locations, and different filters applied for each search. Another really powerful thing that people are not aware of are the system-generated lead list, right? Because after you connected to a certain amount of people and after you used a lot of filters, LinkedIn will basically understand the kind of people that you want to target. And at one point, it will create lead lists, and you can find them here under the tab Leads. And there you find one which is called recommended leads. And this is basically a system generated one. And LinkedIn will give you 100 leads every single week. So you can click on it and there are 100 leads which will be potentially and hopefully inside your target group, which you can basically just, reach out to right here, connect to them. And these are 100 per week. So 400 leads per month, which you will just get for free by connecting with people and giving LinkedIn more material to learn what your ICP and target avatar is. And if you use Sales Navigator, you also have another feature called InMails, which is basically a different way of reaching out to them. Because when sending connections, you will always face a limit. So you cannot send unlimited connections, but between like 250 and 400 is like the max you can go for per week if you have a really warmed up account. Otherwise, it will be even below that and you will face a weekly limit somewhere around like 100 to 150. But if you have LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can also reach out to these people without even being connected to them. So if you just click on the message button right here, you can send them a message without sending them a connection. And this message will land directly in their inbox, so they will immediately receive a message from you. Here you just have to add a subject, right? I always go for something like connecting with name or hey name, this is Jonas, and then the message that you want to send. I would never ever use the AI feature from LinkedIn. I've tested it. It's horrible. It does not work properly. So never go for it. But this is a super good way to reach out to people without wasting your connections. And here you basically have a certain amount of in-mails you can send. So you always get 50 new in-mails per month, no matter what. And you can save them up to 150. So 150 is the maximum amount of in-mails you can have saved up in your account. And then you can send, and then you get another 50 every single month. And the cool thing is you get them back if they reply. So if you send an email and they don't reply, then you just lost one email. But if they reply to your email, then you basically get it back. Means the only goal we have with emails is to trigger a response. We don't want to pitch them immediately. We just want to trigger a response so that they respond. We then pitch them and they respond again. So we get our email back. Means if you have a really, really good script or outreach strategy where you always get a reply, or like in most of the cases, then you can basically send unlimited of these messages, right? Because you always get your email credits back. So now let's talk about the actual outreach strategy you can use. I hope that you understood by now that it's not only about the strategy, and if you just copy and paste the strategy I'm about to show you, then it won't work for you, right? Because all of the other things we talked about by now play a big role in getting responses and making sure that you book appointments out of those responses. But if you configured everything like I showed you until now, so you have your profile set up, you know how to find and target people correctly, you know how to filter for people, you know how to find your ICP, you know how to create content, you get some inbound leads, then it's actually the right time to start outreaching. And now the outreach you do will have much more leverage and you will get a lot more replies and meetings booked out of the same strategy you do. So for the outreach strategy, there are unlimited ways you can do and follow, but this is the one that I've been using. So we want to send them a connection. After they accept your connection, we want to send them the following text. Hey Name, thanks for connecting. I have just recorded a quick video analysis of your current social media presence and what to change to get more clients. In it, I also show you how we help, then you insert your offer, so how we help niche achieve X using X. Want me to send over the video? It's completely free and there's no obligation. So this is the structure and the script that we send all of those people. Then we wait until they say yes. And with this script, it's basically a no-brainer for them to say yes, right? Because we offer them something for free. We tell them the reason why the video is free. And we also claim that the video already exists and they just have to request it. In reality, of course, we wait until they say, please send me over the video. And only after that, we then record a short 2-minute or 3-minute free value video where we give them some free value and then we pitch them at the end. So the kind of free value you give should depend on the offer you have. So if you, for example, offer content or you run ads for your clients, then offering a free social media analysis makes a lot of sense. If you offer AI automations, then you could, for example, offer the website, the chatbots, and so on. The point of this video is just to get a reply, get them to request it, and then grab their attention for 2 to 3 minutes so we can then pitch them at the end. So after they requested the video, we then record the video. And this is the structure you should follow when recording it. So for the first 15 seconds, you should introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do. So, hey, my name is Jonas. I'm the founder of X Agency, and we help niche do this, this, and this. Then you spend 2 to 3 minutes analyzing their social media presence or their website, whatever makes sense, and just giving them some feedback and some free advice. So you tell them, hey, currently I'm looking at your website. So you just share your screen, you show them their website so they see it's actually a personalized video, and you just point out some things, what they do good, what they could do better, and so on. Then you make a transition and you tell them, hey, I noticed that you're currently getting all your leads from X, which is really unreliable. So you make a transition based on something you see, based on a bottleneck, which is connected to your system and your offer. Then you do a mini pitch. So then you tell them, we have a system called The Name. If you just offer services, you just tell them, hey, we help agencies or like real estate agencies with marketing services, blah, blah, blah. So you just tell them your full offer, not the price. And then you finally do a call to action. So if you would like, we can jump on a quick call to show you exactly how this works. Then you send them the video and then you wait until they reply and book a call. And this is the exact strategy that I've been using to book nearly 1.5K appointments per year. As I said, it will only work if you also implement all the other things we talked about by now. If you just skip to this point and just focus on this strategy, it won't work, right? Because everything amplifies each other. But this is a strategy which works pretty well. The next thing we have to talk about are the follow-ups, right? Because no matter if you follow this strategy or if you follow another strategy, you won't get replies immediately. So you have to follow up. For this strategy specifically, I would follow up after 2 to 3 days after sending the first message on LinkedIn with, first of all, hey, another call to action, and then a question mark. If they don't reply, then I would also follow up on email and phone. So no matter if you use the same strategy and script I showed you, or if you use a completely different one, you should always follow up on LinkedIn first. You can also follow up with memes. It can work pretty well in certain niches. But then you should also do cross follow-up. So you should follow up on different channels. right? In this case, we could, for example, follow up on email and maybe even on phone. So this could be the script that we use in order to follow up on email for the strategy I just showed you. And the warmer they become, the more you can follow up, right? So if they then, for example, reply and then they request the video, but they don't respond after requesting and watching the video, then you can follow up even more, right? Because then they showed some interest and it makes sense to now follow up or to convert them. In this case, you can then follow up on LinkedIn again, you can follow up on email, and then you can also call them. So yeah, keep in mind that you should always combine different follow-ups and also different like channels. And this can get you an extra 30-40% of meetings booked just through follow-ups, and most people don't follow up often enough. So make sure to put some effort into this. And with the strategy I showed you, and with nearly any strategy, you should first of all track and optimize your KPIs. So you should track how many connections you send, how many people accept, how many messages you send, how many people say no, say yes, how many Loom videos you send, and how many booked calls there are. Because only then you can basically optimize based on results. So after you have all of these numbers and you did enough volume, then we can look at each of those numbers and figure out what needs to be optimized. For example, your acceptance rate is low, then there is a profile issue. So we have to optimize the profile. If there is a low scene rate, then we have to optimize the message or like the first line. Low reply rate, we need to optimize the message or the CTA. Low booking rate, we need to optimize the video, the pitch, or the call to action again. And these are the benchmarks you should aim for, at least with the strategy I showed you. So out of 150 connections per week, 70 should accept it. This is the benchmark and the standard for every strategy out there, not only for this Loom strategy I showed you. Around 7 should request a video or at least engage with your message. Out of those, 2 to 3 should book a call. And out of those, you can easily close 1 or 2 new clients per month. So these numbers depend on the kind of strategy you follow. But this is really, really realistic if you follow all the steps about setting up your profile and then also the steps I showed you in terms of this outreach strategy. Another thing I want to throw in here and mention is that voice messages and videos are goated, right? On LinkedIn, it's one of the most powerful things you can do. And especially sending voice messages combined with video notes. So just like hitting the video record button, recording short spontaneous videos, which you then send, can work super, super well because they have a super high scene rate and people, basically love to see somebody before they talk to them on the phone or like on the call. And this can work pretty well. So make sure to use voice messages and video notes wherever it makes sense. So in your outreach, in your first message, in your follow-ups and everywhere. All right, so by now we talked about a lot of stuff. So if you followed each of these steps, you should now have your profile set up. You should have the right sections added. You should know exactly how to create content effortlessly, how to get inbound leads, how to reach out to inbound leads effectively, how to find your target niche and target group effectively using the search bar or using Sales Navigator, how to apply filters, how to reach out to those people either using my LinkedIn Loom strategy or using other strategies and voice messages. You should understand how to follow up in the right way to convert more people into booked calls. The last thing I want to show you is how you can now get testimonials directly on LinkedIn from your clients, right? This is super, super powerful because this will help you a lot when it comes down to booking meetings and building social proof and trust before even reaching out to them and before talking to them, because most people will actually visit your profile and look at you before they open your message or before they reply. So in order to get testimonials from your clients, you just have to click on the services section, which we configured at the beginning of the video. You click on show all, then you click on overview, right? And here you see invite past clients to leave a review. If you click on this, you can now choose the service that you want to get a review for example, lead generation. And if you click on next, you can now choose from your contacts who you basically want to send this review request to. And you have 20 credits per year. So 20 testimonials you can collect per year. So make sure to only send this request to people you already spoke to before and they already know that they should give you a review. Otherwise, they will maybe ignore it and you will basically lose your credits. But if they already know that they want or should give you a testimonial, then it makes a lot of sense to do it through LinkedIn, because then it will be displayed at the bottom of your profile. And the testimonial will also be connected to your client's LinkedIn profile, which is super transparent, which gives your clients a lot of trust signals. And this is another super, super powerful strategy to make you look more trustworthy before even reaching out to them. So I hope this video helped you a lot in understanding how LinkedIn works, and that it's not only about the outreach strategy, but also about a lot of different things like targeting, content strategy, and profile setup. Just follow all the steps. I feel like it's a really, really in-depth and long video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you watched the video until the end, then I also have a little gift for you now, because I know for sure that most people won't even watch the video until the end because they just skip ahead to the outreach strategy and just try to book meetings with certain proven scripts, which cannot work because if your profile is not set up in the right way, you won't get results. But if you watch the video until now, then feel free to check out the link in the description in the pinned comment, where you can book a free 101 LinkedIn strategy call with me. It's basically a 101 super low pressure strategy call with me, where we go over your full LinkedIn profile. I have a look at your offer. I help you set up your profile, rebrand your profile. I craft a targeting strategy for you. So I show you exactly how you can target your right audience. And I also write the outreach message for you. So you have everything you need in place in order to book appointments in your target group with a proven message that I will write for you depending on your offer, depending on your profile, and depending on your target group. Yeah, so make sure to use the link, book a free one-on-one call with me, and I'm looking forward to speak to you. See you in the next one.